Hey, this is Jamie from CapsuleComputers.com, and today we have a Mionix AVIOR, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, 7000 here to review for you. It is an ambidextrous mouse from Mionix in response to the fact that a lot of lefties just can't use the Naos. Don't have the Naos on hand right now, but you'll have to watch the video review we've got on the Naos. We have one on the 8200 and the 7000. Anyways, moving on. So here is the AVIOR 7000. Let's just get this out of the box for you. Not much in the box, just a Mionix sticker and quick start guide with your warranty. Alright, so right off the bat I can tell you this is a lot slimmer than the Naos line of mice. The Naos tend to be kind of chunky, definitely on the width-wise. Feels good in a palm grip, though this is kind of long, just like the Naos, so for those who prefer a claw grip or some sort of hybrid grip, this may be a bit too long of a mouse to do so comfortably. We have buttons on both sides, and we have our sensitivity button and wheel, nice clicking here. So let's skip on ahead to our review. And we are back with the AVIOR 7000 from Mionix. I've had some time to beat this mouse around. It's taken a few dings from my coffee mug, and, well, technically a tea mug, but that's neither here nor there. Put it through many countless rounds of Battlefield 4 and a bunch of other games, and I gotta say, so far I really like this mouse. About half of the mice I find, the gaming mice on the market, is just a hair too wide. I am kind of short, so I do have a smaller hand size than the average person, and I find that the AVIOR has a really nice flare that is sort of like almost like a V shape. It's very lots of curves, and it's very comfortable to hold. And the fact that this mouse is so slim around here where my hands meet, I found was just really insanely comfortable. Now, this mouse with my ruler is about 12.5 centimeters long. I find for me as a palm grip user, it was great. It rides a little low to the ground, sort of like a sports car. But if you're a claw grip user, or you just like to use your fingertips to use the mouse, and you're not much into using wrist and arm movement for your mouse, this may be a bit too long, as I said in the my first impressions of this mouse. I really love the finish on this mouse. I think it's actually one of my favorite finishes for gaming mice out there. It's this really soft, satiny finish that's actually pretty durable. It's taken a few dings without any scuffs or scratches. The mouse wheel, it's a little more rubbery in texture compared to the rest of the mouse, but still very comfortable to hold and touch. The mouse buttons are made out of Omron switches. They're considered, you'll find them in a lot of high-end gaming mice, and they're considered to be possibly the finest gaming mouse micro switches on the market. Many other high-end ones will use them. They're really nice, crisp feel to them. They have a really pleasant click, and they're rated to 20 million clicks in their lifetime, so chances are this is going to last you a very, very long time before breaking. Middle mouse button, it's not nearly as crisp as the left and right mouse buttons, but still really crisp. There's no mushiness, which is something I absolutely despise, and it's a good amount of force to manipulate this button over here. I really like the fact that this is an ambidextrous mouse, which means it comes with buttons on both sides. Personally, I use all of these buttons. They're all macroed to something, so I do appreciate that. And I really like the fact that you don't need much force to use these side buttons. I've had mice where these side buttons take so much force that my little finger, not being nearly as strong as the rest of my hand, needs so much gripping force to the point that I kind of push the mouse into the wrong direction, which is really, really frustrating when you're trying to pull off a difficult shot or any sort of fine maneuvers. I like the fact that we have 6 feet of cloth braided cable. Cloth braided cable tends to snag less and catch less, which means you're not going to have any problems where suddenly the rubber coating on the mouse wire catches on something and all of a sudden your mouse there's a change in, I guess, the wire tension that's very noticeable. It's a very small thing, but for some people, like me, it is very, very irritating. Now, the software driving the mouse is good. It's very easy to use. It's very simple to understand. The macro recording can be done very quickly. The profile assignments are very, very dead simple to figure out. You don't really need a manual or anything. Now, there's a ton of options to tweak sensitivity. You can adjust how sensitive the X and Y axis are. You can even change the angle offset, so in case you tend to hold your mouse crooked, like let's say sort of like this, I'm exaggerating a little, but this is your up and down movement. If you were normally going to do that, it would go, I think, like that way. But with this angle offset, you can actually adjust it, so in case you do hold it when you go like this, your mouse pointer will go up with it. Now, the one thing I did notice about it is the software is not particularly stable. Now, I am using a pre-release unit. There is still some time before these mice hit shelves that they can iron out these bugs. Now, the bugs are not common. They're actually very specific circumstances I found. But when they do crop up, I found they were kind of bad, like having to replug my mouse in bad. Now, the first occasion I noticed is changing certain sensitivity settings that will wildly affect how the mouse is detecting movement, has a chance to cause the software suit to crash and the mouse to freeze. And the only way to get your computer to pick it up again is to replug in the mouse and then forcibly quit the software through Task Manager and then reboot the software. That one was a bit of a pain because if you didn't close it through Task Manager, you'd have to replug in your mouse again because it would get stuck the minute you opened up the software suite. Now, the other replug in type bug that I encountered is going to be a lot more common for those of us who like to change our sensitivity. Now, this mouse has about 3 sensitivity settings versus my usual preferred 4 or 5. So for some people, it may not be enough. However, I found if I press the sensitivity switch buttons too quickly in succession, like if I was going from the high sensitivity level number 1 and then quickly dropping down to 3 by tapping it if I tapped it too many times too quickly, it would cause the mouse to crash no matter what I was doing, middle of the game, whatever, it didn't matter. The mouse would not respond. I'd have to go behind my computer, pull out the mouse cable, replug it back in to get the thing to start responding again. Now, once these get ironed out, I think this is going to be a great mouse. It's already an excellent mouse, but I think it could be that much better once they just iron out the software issues. Now, the mouse there is manufacturer suggested retail price of $79.99 US compared to the Naos and the AVIOR 8200, which has a laser sensor and a maximum range of 8200 DPI. It's $10 more expensive. So personally, I think at $79.99, this mouse is definitely a much better deal than the 8200. Now, if you need the high sensitivity settings, then I would recommend 8200 because some people do like to play at 8000 DPI, 8200 DPI. But if you're doing under 7000, honestly, I've used both the 8200 and the 7000 for quite some time, and in practice, I cannot really tell the difference. Frankly, if you blindfolded me and slapped me in front of a computer with either or the mouse and then told me You gotta choose. It's going to be one or the other, and we're all going to leave it at 5,000 DPI. You can't. I honestly probably would not be able to tell the difference between the two mice. So at $79.99, I think this is a great value for high-end gaming mice. Obviously, there may be better values at lower end, but for the features this mouse boasts compared to other mice with similar features, this is definitely one of the better deals out there. So if you want to read my full review, I really highly encourage you to scroll on down into the description of the video. There's a link to our full written review. And in the meantime, this mouse has very handily earned its 8.0 capsules out of 10. So on our next time, I'll see you guys on our next review.